Hello, my name is James Hunter, and this is my 2 cents channel where I talk about topics from physical fitness, mental health, wellness, and just topics I may want to discuss. And today I'm going to talk about a video I saw on the YouTube channel, Valuetainment, of an interview of Ronnie Coleman where he makes a claim to be less than 1% body fat, at saying he was measured to be 0.33% body fat when he was a competitive bodybuilder during his heyday. He also claims to have been, during the rest of the year, around as low as 2% body fat, between 2 and 3% body fat during the off season, 12 months out of the year, basically, when he wasn't at his leanest, that below that 1% at 0.33%, as he claims. And I'm going to play the video here in a few seconds or in a minute for you to see for yourself. I'll put a link below to where you can go watch that for yourself. The gentleman, the Valuetainment channel on YouTube, I hope I pronounced it correctly. A lot of good interviews on there of bodybuilders, celebrities from different types of celebrities, if you will, not all just bodybuilders. But you can check that out. I've seen some of the interviews on there. They're entertaining. If you want to see it yourself, the link will be below. So I'm going to talk about what's possible. Are the claims that bodybuilders make exaggerated, and people, not just bodybuilders, but in other sports or athletes, they can make sometimes exaggerated claims. Like if bodybuilders will say, my arms are 22 inches, when their arms, in actuality, they're big. Their arms might be 19 inches, for instance. Or they'll just, exaggerate how much they weigh, how tall they are, and so on. And a lot of this is done for marketing. But body fat percentage is a whole other thing, because you get into issues in terms of what's possible in terms of your health. So let's play this video real quick. Let me switch to myself and my desktop real quick, and let me pull up maximize the video, and you can hear Ronnie Coleman.
14 ounces of chicken, I'd have like 10, 12.
And you did it all year round?
I did it all year round.
You said low body fat throughout the year, though.
Yeah, genetically though. Genetically, it's like that. The police department used to always measure me, and it always came to 2 to 3% every single year.
It's crazy.
And it was off season. It's 320 pounds. I went to Cooper's Clinic one time and had it done, professionally. It was 0.33, not even 0.5%.
What is not healthy? I mean, what number is not? Because you remember, what was the one bodybuilder, Munzer, that he had a lowest where his chest just didn't make any sense? Is there a level that's actually not healthy for you?
No, there's not one.
Not in your mind.
Not in my mind.
Not in your mind.
I'm a different breed of guy.
And you really believe.
So there you go. You heard it yourself. Ronnie Coleman, claims that he was professionally, his words, tested and was actually at 0.33% body fat. That's less than 1%. So, with people who have that much muscle, like he did back in his prime, and people that are that muscular, you're going to look ripped at 5 or 6% body fat. You can get 5 and 4% body fat. You're going to look shredded and ripped. And then you put in other factors, some of the things these individuals are doing, like with diuretics and so on, where they're getting the water from out underneath the skin, and that delicate balance they walk with the things they do, that gives them an even more, an impressive look in terms of that dry look and being shredded. So there's other things going on too. So to make those claims like that for people who haven't, done some research about what's possible and what's healthy with the low body fat claims, people will just buy it and say, okay, I guess if he says he was less than 1% body fat, it must be true. So let's take a look at some resources here that you can look up yourself on the internet. So here's one website, InBodyUSA.com, and I'm also going to read from some other websites you may be familiar with, but let's just look at what it says about essential versus stored body fat. What's the difference? So as the name implies, essential body fat plays a critical role in your overall health and cellular processes. In exercise physiology, nutrition, energy, and human performance, Essential body fat is described as the fat in heart, lungs, liver, spleen, kidneys, intestines, muscles, and lipid-rich tissue of the central nervous system and bone marrow. So as metabolic fuel, essential fat makes sure that you have sufficient energy reserves, and it helps conserve body heat when needed. It also protects your internal organs and joints from injury, acting as soft, fluffy cushion, if you will. It acts as chemical messengers that help ensure the bodily processes like metabolism, growth, and immune functions are going as smoothly as planned. And there's some sex differences in regards to having too low body fat. I have a video actually for women. It's on my channel about that to that regard, as far as what's practical as far as getting low body fat. I also have a different video that's about, is there a one size fits all for how low body fat do you need to even look impressive and ripped? It's not as extreme as you think. So let's go ahead and look at a different website. This is the Live Strong. Again, real quick, the essential body fat. Your body needs a certain amount of fat, which is called the essential fat. And if a percentage falls below this level, normal body functions may be disrupted. Again, sex differences. Women need more essential fat than men just because of their reproductive functions. Essential fat is stored in small amounts, again, in bone marrow, organs, and muscles. So fat is playing many roles in the body, including regulating temperature, again, cushioning and insulating organs and tissues. As an important source of energy for your body, fat needs to be present in order for you to absorb certain vitamins. So for women, down here, percentage body fat ranges, it's 10 to 13% body fat for women, to not go lower than that. And for men, it's in this particular livestrong.com website, it's saying 2 to 5% body fat, according to the American Council on Exercise. So you can look at this for yourself in terms of the different ranges. What you're not going to see, though, is the extreme end that Ronnie Coleman is claiming, that less than 1%. So let me find the other one as far as the Men's Journal. Now, you can look at different sources, but they're going to be fairly close. This one right here for men, it has that threshold at 3%, okay? It's in terms of that essential body fat. That's what I kind of see to be more common, is closer to 3%. So you need a certain amount of essential fat at 3%, which is found in the vital organs and is essential for normal functioning in a guy. And consequently, the minimum healthy percent body fat a man can achieve is around that 3% mark, typically seen in endurance athletes, but also bodybuilders on the competition day. Note that it mentions on competition day. It's not saying they're like walking around like this 12 months out of the year. So if that sounds ridiculously unachievable, for the average person is not looking to try to be like what the bodybuilder does in terms of getting that lean. You don't have to be 3% body fat to look impressive, or even necessarily single digit. If you have a lot of muscle, you carry it well. At 10% body fat, you can look impressive. I have a video about that too on my channel, where I talk about how we carry body fat. Now, I'll put some photos of myself in this video. I competed in bodybuilding in the MPC as recent as this year. And I would, say it's safe to say I get around the 4% body fat mark, and I'm pretty ripped looking. I've been probably I've been maybe close to that 3% mark, based on skin folds. And if you look at my photos, yeah, you can tell how lean I was. I mean, I was freaking, you can see all the detail in my back, shoulders, legs, my abs are very visible. And to the, the average person, I could lie and say, yeah, I'm 2% body fat, and they may believe me. But the truth is, no, my body fat did not get that low. In fact, I'm going to talk about some of the consequences of getting too low body fat. So for myself, when I do get as lean as I do to compete, I have strength, I have energy, and I feel good, and I have my health. So you definitely want to consider that, what the consequences. So let's talk about the increased risk for disease that you have when your body fat's too low. So body fat is important for a wide variety of body functions, and having too little body fat may increase your risk for heart disease, gastrointestinal problems, and damage to your nervous system. Also, the University of Pennsylvania adds that you incur the risk of organ shrinkage. Because a very low body fat percentage can affect your immune system, you're also more likely to suffer from infectious diseases as well. Limited body fat stores may also affect your body's ability to use insulin, making you more likely to develop diabetes. This is from the livestrong.com website. So let me go to one more website real quick. You can go to mensjournal.com /health-fitness /15-negative-effects. Okay, this is 15 negative effects of having a low body fat percentage. I'm not going to read this whole page. I'm just going to hit the highlights of the for each number. Number 1, you can become prone to serious heart problems. 2, your energy levels plummet. So, like I mentioned myself, I've been pretty lean. I've been ripped and use the word shredded, but I had good energy. There's also I could also talk about my diet was good. I did not do any type of water restriction to myself. I drink plenty of water, and to me, that's a whole nother conversation. So I'm doing things to take care of my health when I get lean, to where I know I'm healthy because I have strength and energy and I feel good. Unlike if based on these effects, your energy levels are going to plummet if your body fat percentage is as low as Ronnie Coleman claims, being 0.33%. I mean, even 2%. Okay, so number 3, you're going to be cold a lot. 4, your workouts can suck. Yeah, you're not going to have as much energy. 5, your muscles don't recover from exercise. So let me read this one real quick. That's interesting. So even if you're able to get in a good workout with your ultra lean figure, you're probably going to have difficulty getting much out of them. That's because when your body fat percentage is too low, so are your levels of glycogen, or stored carbohydrates, in your muscles and liver. And that glycogen is vital to helping your body recover from exercise. Okay. Well, there's a lot that could be said to people who are competing at this level in professional bodybuilding. If they're on androgenic anabolic type steroids and other agents that have a muscle preserving effect and so on, it's gonna be different than someone who's natural, not taking any type of drugs, in terms of how it may offset this particular side effect. But a lot of bodybuilders they deplete carbs when they get close to a contest. So they're already training, with low muscle glycogen stores sometimes, until they start to fill back up, before the show and so on. So depending on things, on if people are using drugs or not, that may or may not could be different. All right, number 6, you're constantly hungry. 7, your testosterone levels drop. Well, you need fat for your body to make testosterone. That's a whole other video in and of itself you could talk about. 8, your muscles become weaker. And here's one. It's number 9, your sperm count and your hard-on drop or erection. Okay. Number 10, you get sick a lot. 11, your bones become brittle. 12, you don't have a life. Okay, I probably don't. You're going to be starving and hungry all the time, or feel hungry all the time. You're always in a bad mood. You suffer with a brain fog. 15, your skin looks like crap, and so on and so on. Now, you may agree with some of these, and you may disagree with others on here, but if you want to check it out for yourself, you can. I think you get the idea here, as far as these claims that are made by professional bodybuilders. You can go check out the interview yourself. It's titled "Greatest Bodybuilder of All Time Opens Up," Ronnie Coleman, on the Valuetainment channel. A lot of views already so far. 324,000 people have watched this, at least so far, maybe a little more than that. You can read different comments on here about the interview. And not just bodybuilders, there's other interesting people that this gentleman interviews. So what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that Ronnie Coleman, that he's naive and believes that he was 0.33% body fat at one point, or is he just kind of just doing that for some hype, because it may get attention? Who knows? I'm not gonna, assume what his motive may be or that he actually believes it. I don't know that, but I do know that people can exaggerate claims. Bodybuilders do it, and it's not, like calling them out like, oh, they're bad people and getting into any of that. It's just, marketing. They're putting themselves out there. They want to get attention. And if you can get people to believe that you're taller, way more, your arms are bigger than they actually are, you are creating an image or of how people view you, and it's kind of like your brand, if you will. So if you can get people to believe that you are that, as Ronnie Coleman says, he's a different breed, right? He's supernatural. Those type of things, like when the interviewer asks him, Ronnie, is that even healthy? Ronnie then appears to think not. It doesn't apply to him. But that could, be a lot could be said about that as far as his competitiveness, and that's part of why he won as many Mr. Olympias as he did. Now, back to the issue of body fat percentage. Like myself right now, I'm not as lean as I was when I competed earlier this year, but I still have definition in my body as far as being able to see the muscle and for it to be using the word definition, if you want to use the word, or ripped and so on in a tank top. You don't have to be that level of low body fat. So if you're watching this video and you've never competed in bodybuilding and you have no interest in that, but maybe you're wanting to get lean or have that shredded look, you can be 10% body fat and look very impressive. I mean, heck, 8 to 10% body fat is exceptional compared to the general population. Not many people get there. Myself, I've been, like I said, 4%, maybe close to that 3% threshold of the minimum amount you need to have. I say that because of how the looks that I've achieved, and then just my waist, literally, I mean, not even getting any kind of a skin fold as far as that caliper. Is what, barely a 1, if even that. I mean, I've gotten pretty lean around the midsection and the areas of the skin folds, but because I had energy and strength and felt good, I had enough fat, obviously, because of my physicals, my blood work, my health. The evidence is that I'm a healthy person. So I would not want to be less than 1% body fat. I mean, that's just scary. Or even 2%. It's just not necessary, particularly to if you're somebody who's not going to compete in bodybuilding, or if you're just an older individual. You don't need to put your body through that kind of stress. So if you watch this video, I thank you for coming to my channel. I appreciate it. I make videos on different topics, like I mentioned at the beginning, physical fitness, sometimes mental health. Sometimes I talk about, substance use type issues, people who are in recovery, talk about other topics that may be of interest, like I did today, the interview of Ronnie Coleman. And so if you have a different opinion from some of the information I shared today, please share it in the comments below. Maybe you believe Ronnie, and if you do, I'd be interested to hear your opinion on that. It's okay if you disagree. If you have any suggestions for videos you'd like to see me make, drop them below too, and I will consider adding a video of that topic on my channel. And so I just hope people will, think and question things, that you hear. Don't take it as automatic that just because somebody says something and they're famous or they were a professional bodybuilder, that automatically must be true. There may be reasons why they're making such claims. As I mentioned before, it could just be an honest mistake on his part, or he misunderstood what he was told, or maybe he's just clowning around to see who might believe that he was actually 0.33% body fat. As far as we know, he may be pulling our leg just, for laughs. We don't know that. So I hope you all have a good day. Until I make another video, take care and have a good weekend.